NetSuite uses the concept of a dashboard to summarize all the information you need to keep track of in the database. It also contains links to drill down into the specifics of that information, in other words, to take you from the summary to the detail. The dashboard is divided up into portlets, or categories of information. Each of these categories have their own setup option, which allows you to configure or set up that portlet with your preferences and with the information that relates to you and your specific job function. You can remove a portlet from the dashboard by simply choosing that setup option and clicking Remove. You can add additional portlets to your dashboard by choosing the Personalize option and selecting the various dashboard portlets you'd like to see on that dashboard. You have a number of options, from standard content to mini reports called reports snapshots, or to trend graphs, which provide you with a trend for a particular metric. So for instance, if we look at a trend graph of our sales, we will see a trend for sales as opposed to a key performance indicator, which would show us those sales as at two specific points that we can choose. So if you're a visual person, you may prefer the trend graph as opposed to the KPIs. The report snapshot offers another graphical way to look at information. Let's set that up and select a particular report we'd like to see, as well as a date range. Now, being a snapshot, it doesn't give you all the information on that report, but just a portion of that information. Obviously, there's not enough space on the dashboard to fit all the details relating to that report. Each portlet can be set up using specific date ranges you'd like to see as a default. However, if you'd like to just switch the information to pivot to a particular specific date range, you don't need to reset all of the date ranges on the dashboard. Simply go to the portlet date settings and select a specific date range. And that will reset the date ranges on most of the portlets on your dashboard. Bear in mind, there's only so much real estate on the dashboard. So there's only so much space for information. And if you crowd the dashboard with too much information, two things are going to happen. Number one, the dashboard will take an extra few seconds to load as the system runs those reports each time you come to your dashboard. And secondly, you're liable to miss a lot of the important information that may be placed at the bottom of the screen. So let's start with the first problem. In order to minimize the refresh time of the screen, simply click in the header of a dashboard portlet. That minimizes the portlet, and so next time I come to the page, that portlet's information will not load, and that will save me that extra few seconds of refresh time. When I want to run that report, I simply click on the header again for the report to run. Now, on the question of space, what I can do is I can drag and drop any of these portlets to any of the areas of the screen. So I could put my less important portlets at the bottom of the screen and my most important portlets at the top of the screen by simply dragging and dropping it to the right area of the screen. I can also change the layout of the dashboard by clicking the layout option and selecting different types of layouts, different types and different setups of my columns, in this case where the larger column is on the left and the smaller column is on the right. Or in fact, I could choose 3 columns and simply move certain portlets to my 3rd column. The other alternative is to use the various dashboards built into the system, because even though we typically speak of the home dashboard represented by the little house, each of the options at the top of the screen have their own built-in dashboards with their own personalized options and their own layout options. So what you may prefer to do is segment the data by moving it to different dashboards and not cluttering up your home dashboard with too much information that you'll probably never really see.